Jeremy Paul, President and CEO of Eagle Natural Resources.
Well, let's start off by talking about what it is that your guys' company does on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so basically what Eagle does is we go out, we acquire income-producing assets in oil and gas, real property interests, and we look for mainly HPP properties, that means held by production, and we look for upside drilling room, further proven undeveloped locations that we can further exploit, if you will, as opposed to going out there and drilling in someone's backyard where there's no oil or gas to be proven. We go into known homogeneous reserves. So that's kind of what we do, and we bridge the gap from the financing all the way to field operations. So I'm kind of the finance guy behind the scenes, if you will.
How many different plays are you guys in or have been in the past?
So we're entering into a couple of different areas, actually. We've got Permian assets currently, and we've got some Bend Arc assets, which are just North Texas, Northwest Texas area, just off the shelf of the Permian in West Texas. And we've got a lot of drilling programs that we've done in the past in East Texas, South Texas, very shallow stuff, Woodbine, East Texas, and then some Frio sands in Southern Texas. So we've actually drilled a number of wells in Oklahoma, and we plan on kind of going out and revamping the acquisition model that we have here in Texas, and looking at the stack and the scoop plays, obviously in Oklahoma, and we're looking to basically purchase PDP, proven developed producing properties, and PUD locations between all the major plays. So with that said, obviously the Permian, Eagle Ford, Stack, Scoop, Niobrara Shale in Colorado, and even in the Bakken up in North Dakota, which, if I read it right, that's where you're located. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do some programming up in the Bakken. We've expanded down into Texas, but primarily up in North Dakota, and that's where I am located, yes. And I was going to ask you about the Bakken, if you guys are prospecting, targeting, or currently doing any business up here in the Bakken.
Not currently. We're looking at some acquisitions up there. Basically, where we're at right now as far as the price of oil is anything prior to $60 a barrel is an acquisition business model in our frame. So if you hit a certain level of the price per barrel, then certain areas are going to be opening up for more investment because they're going to become more economic as the price goes up. So we're trying to do that in a way that, obviously, we're starting in the Permian, lower lifting costs and production costs there. Although the acreage prices are going up, that's tremendously. I might add $40,000 to $60,000 an acre in some cases. But long story short, you want to be going and looking at these places that others aren't, because the acquisition prices are going to be a lot lower for the prices that they're at now, especially for the Bakken, because the Bakken's not really economic past a certain dollar per barrel. So last time I checked, is somewhere between $60 and $85 a barrel. But there's lower cost producers coming in, and then having that access pipeline being finished, that should lower infrastructure prices down somewhat. So we're definitely looking, and we want to surround ourselves with some good landmen in that area, and that's what we're currently looking for right now.
How about the world of natural gas? Does that play into this at all in any way? Are you able to do anything with that, I guess, or is that part of the package deal?
Well, we mainly want to go after oil-bearing properties. We're going to get gas in most cases. But yeah, when you get it out of the ground, and if it's transportable and you can sell it, and the infrastructure is in place, obviously we'll net that, right? So, but mainly we're looking at oil properties. I think I think oil's where we need to stay as far as natural gas. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a great play. I think there's a lot of people coming out and acquiring those natural gas properties, like the Bakken Shale. The Barnett Shale here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's some great opportunities still in natural gas, and I think the prices will come up inevitably, especially that we're able to now extract it, produce it, and send it overseas through LNG. So, liquefied natural gas to the rest of the world. I think that's a great setup. So there's definitely a future for natural gas. Are we heavily invested in it? The answer is no.
Sure, it's not driving your decisions. It's just kind of something, part of it, but not the main drive of it. So let's transition to kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today. Jeremy Paul, President, CEO, Eagle Natural Resources. There's a press release or a story I read online that had to do with a new online investing platform for investors seeking opportunities in the oil and gas market. That's from the first line, and crowdfunderinsider.com is where I'm reading this from. But it caught my attention because the crowdfunding's a new thing, but also from the SEC angle too as well. Did you guys have any hurdles, any obstacles? Was this an easy transition? First of all, talk to me about your online investing platform, and then talk to me a little bit about the process that it took to get online.
Yeah, so basically we've integrated with a couple of technology firms, and that allows us to offer those types of investments online and be able to have investors subscribe, create an account, and if they want to review the materials on our programs that we have, the current programs we have are going to be under Reg D 506C, by the SEC exemptions. It's a lot different process as far as going and doing a reg crowdfunding deal, right? So, those are typically non-accredited investors, and they don't have to make a certain annual income or threshold of $1 million net worth or more. So, we're in that frame that we have to have qualified accredited investors. So it was actually somewhat easy to launch that type of offering and create that platform. So there is, for instance, another exemption out there. I don't want to get too much into it, but we're looking at it, as a possibility going forward as well. There's a lot of real estate companies doing it as far as the crowdfunding goes. But I forget what it was. It was, I think it was Title II. Anyways, not to get too far into that. Long story short, the investment process and the investment platform itself is really just geared towards offering investors a way to kind of piggyback on some of these plays by bringing together a purchasing power of investment so that we can go and knock down large acquisitions of proven producing properties with upside drilling room. That's the key. That's what we're looking for, because we always want to keep a drill bit in the ground, but we also want to go and acquire as much property and production that we can right now, given the current state of oil prices. So this down market has created an opportunity where we can go out, purchase land, purchase producing properties at a fraction of the cost that we've seen over the last decade. And that's the whole idea behind it all. And we just want to streamline the process and make it a little bit easier for people to find us through social media outlets and online to be able to invest. So we feel that's kind of what brought it to life.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you guys are looking for pretty significant investors as opposed to just an average person who might want to invest in the oil and gas market. You guys, I think I heard $1 million minimum.
Well, we're going to have different minimums per program that we offer, but I think we're coming out with a minimum of a $50,000 investment in a large fund that we're getting ready to launch. And main goal is to go out there and purchase, producing properties, and obviously drill in the known, reservoirs that are there to go and target. So that type of data that we back up there it's much less riskier. And the way to do it is you diversify. You diversify with partners. You diversify from the root to the fruit, really. I mean, at the end of the day, oil and gas is risky, right? So if you have a collective group of partners, if you will, individuals and entities, to go in, put into a fund where you can go and pull those resources together to go and make those types of acquisitions, it's a lot less riskier when you're doing it that way than it is to obviously go out and do a exploratory drilling location. And point being, if you were to go and do that, and you hit a dry hole, you lost all your money. And That's exactly what we don't want to do. We don't want to go into an area where it's very high risk, and the returns may look great, but there's no proof of any hydrocarbon production within the area. So we're really not wildcatters. We're really just looking to go out there and increase our holdings through existing producing properties that have further drilling room. So that's kind of the takeaway from there. But yes, accredited investors, meaning $200,000 annual income or $1 million net worth, that's who we have to be able to accept. And through the Reg D 506C laws, we have to verify that process. So when they go on to create an account and go on and invest online, they're going to go through a process that allows them to verify themselves as accredited. And it's actually through Verify Investor LLC. It's a service, a third-party service that's integrated with our system. So it's very, it's very easy to go through it, and it's not too much, paperwork that you have to provide, but it's definitely worth it, I would say. It's a new process. Not every company out there is doing it. That does have a crowdfunding portal, but it's going to be different for sure.
Jeremy Paul, CEO, President, Eagle Natural Resources. Just a couple questions left here. One is about the crowdfunding portal itself. Not many people doing it. Understand that. How is it being accepted by the investors and even by, say, within the industry itself? I guess, how's it being accepted, this particular model, this particular strategy?
Well, I think that since it's actually much newer than people think, but the law was actually passed back in 2013, I believe, when Obama signed the Jobs Act in. And then the FCC implemented rules and regs and made it legal. So, but it's a new process. The technology's new. There's just a lot of things that are new altogether. So it's really just an industry that's just starting, right? So, but here's the kicker. You go to the UK, crowdfunding is not new at all. It's very successful. And it's a socialized platform to where it's been very successful in financing business plans, real estate, and many different industries. So I think it'll take off at one point, but as far as where it's at now, it's at its infancy stages, I feel still. So the technology's come together. The platforms are starting to increase in size, but it takes time to gain traction and fully see the benefit of it, I feel. So, but the good thing is that doesn't keep us away from our current business model. We've been in business since 2009, so we're going to continue purchase these types of properties, held by production properties, and drill new wells regardless. So we just want to feel as if we put this program, this platform together, will we have more access to capital to go out and basically do more of what we're already doing? And if we're able to do so, then obviously we'll just become a larger company as prices come back up. So that's kind of how we see crowdfunding and how we see it within our business plan as of now. But I don't want to be subjected to the pitfalls of the industry. I think that there's going to be some, but at the end of the day, if you don't want to invest online, you can actually call in, and we'll send out the materials to you so you can review them, have your CPA and attorney, advise, and then go from there and see if it's a good fit. So, it's the old way of doing business is still obviously there. But at the end of the day, if you want to do it at ease at your home or at your office at midnight, if you wanted to, you can hop online and go and invest into the fund itself, into the platform itself. So you just have that luxury now. That's it. That's the only difference.
Jeremy Paul, President, CEO, Eagle Natural Resources. Final thoughts. Anything we missed? Anything you want to reiterate? Anything you feel that needs to be said? I kind of give guests the final thought without any framework of a question. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I think, sorry for the long-winded answers, but I think it's definitely the greatest market to be in at this current time. Even if prices go back down, it just means it's going to be a better buying opportunity. Typically, when there's blood in the streets and everyone's running away, that's when you want to dive in and start looking at acquiring certain assets. And I think that's where the money's going to be made going forward when prices come back.